Welcome back to another edition of the Elvis Conspiracy. My name is Jeff Dixon, and we are looking at the life and times of Elvis, the death of Elvis, and then maybe the life of Elvis? Who knows? Because we're going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy, and so we have been looking at a couple of things to set up what is now a timeline that leads up to the death and burial of Elvis Presley. So this episode is entitled August 15th, 1977. If you were to have seen Elvis on that particular day, Elvis was preparing for a 12-day concert tour that was to start in Portland, Maine, the following day, August 16th, 1977. Dr. George Nicopolis wrote a prescription for medication to be filled prior to the tour. This is the famous, infamous Dr. Nick. This is the doctor that, after the death of Elvis, was put on trial for all of the medications and narcotics that he distributed to Elvis Presley. It was Elvis's personal physician, and there was a lot of speculation that he got to Elvis a lot of prescribed medication that he never should have been prescribed. As a matter of fact, he, by some, is considered the reason that Elvis died, or maybe didn't die. He was portrayed in the film that recently came out about the life of Elvis in a not so kind way, and many people feel like he deserved that. Lisa Marie, Elvis's daughter, was at Graceland on an extended vacation, and Elvis spent a lot of time playing with her. They would ride in golf carts on the property. People could watch from the street as Elvis and his daughter would ride across the property in the front side of Graceland, and of course they would disappear to the back side of Graceland, out of the sight of the crowd. That evening, Elvis called his dentist, Dr. Lester Hoffman, to ask him to open the office for an emergency appointment. Elvis was going on tour, so he wanted to get his teeth cleaned, and he had a filling that needed to be attended to. And so by that night at 10:30, an appointment was set, and Elvis left Graceland with his cousin Billy Smith, his friend Charlie Hodge, his fiancée Ginger Alden, and they left Graceland as Elvis was wearing what was a blue law enforcement jogging suit that he liked, and he was gone from Graceland. Now at this point, at August 15th, let's stop our calendar right there for just a minute, and let's ask a couple of questions. These questions are important if you try to put together the timeline of what happened in the day prior to Elvis's death and then the aftermath of it. The first one is simply this: why was Lisa Marie still at Graceland on an extended vacation with Elvis, knowing that he would be leaving the next day for a concert tour? Because by this time, Lisa Marie is spending time with her dad in Graceland, but also with her mom, Priscilla, and going back and forth. We are at a day where Elvis is actually leaving and going to be gone for a few weeks, and so Lisa Marie would not be staying at Graceland, yet she was still there. She had not left yet. Was there a reason for that? Next question is, how did Elvis find the time to spend with Lisa Marie when he knew he was going to be going on a 12-day tour? In other words, he was carving out that time, and even the day before the tour, he was spending time with her, which was very unusual with him getting ready to leave town. The accepted theory is that Elvis took the time with his daughter because he knew he was going to be leaving and going to be gone and out of sight for a long, long time to come. And so the speculation is that he was trying to spend as much time as he could with Lisa Marie right up until that last minute. Taking into consideration how much Elvis loved Lisa Marie, one would think that he would be spending his time and getting ready to go on this tour and get ready to make the tour and then make the adjustments needed to get back with Lisa Marie when he got back from the concert tour. And yet he wasn't doing that. There seemed to be no indication that Elvis was in a hurry to leave, almost as if, according to the staff at Graceland, Elvis wasn't ready to leave at all and he was making no plans to be gone. It is known that he told at least one individual, Ellen Foster, who was there at Graceland, that he was not intending to go on tour at all. Odd thing to say when you're supposed to be leaving the next day? Sure. Odd thing when people have bought tickets and are expecting to see you in Portland the next day? Of course. Odd when you're Elvis Presley and this is what you do for a living? No doubt about it. There was some question regarding who was going to be taking care of Lisa Marie in the event that she wasn't going to be going back home to see her mom right away in California. Even that day at Graceland, people were wondering what arrangements has Elvis made for Lisa Marie if she's going to be here and he's going to be gone. If Lisa Marie's not going home and no one knew anything about that, what was that going to look like? Who was going to be in charge of her as a little girl at Graceland with Dad being on the road? Again, whatever the plan was, no one knew the plan yet. It hadn't been made public and it hadn't circulated its way through the Elvis staff that was there. Last question surrounding August 15th was simply this: what was Charlie Hodge still doing at Graceland? You say, well, Charlie Hodge was his good friend. Yes. But it was his responsibility to be the advance man for the tours. So in addition to being Elvis's friend, he was the one that Elvis put in charge of making sure that before Elvis arrived, everything was in place. Supervising the stage setup, supervising the accommodations, supervising all the provisions that Elvis Presley and his entourage required when they arrived at a hotel, as they arrived to an arena, as they needed security for those things. Charlie Hodge was that guy. And so the speculation continues. Did Charlie have another assignment? Was he to have a role in his friend leaving, but not leaving for a tour, leaving for something else? And that one little notation about Charlie Hodge has fueled speculation and chapter after chapter after chapter of conspiracy theorist books and items that you might want to find somewhere on the internet. What was Charlie doing still in Graceland? And what was he doing going out with Elvis that night at 10:30 to a dentist appointment? Anything about that strange? Yes, a lot about that was strange. And what makes it strange, it was a departure for the Elvis Presley process, if you will. Elvis had a way of doing things, and that way was a very routine thing. This was not that particular event. That was not happening on this tour. And so for whatever reason, something was amiss. That is on August 15th, 1977. Is there anything to that that leads itself to conspiracy theories rolling? Maybe. Is there anything about that that proves he's alive? Of course not. But is it another puzzle piece in a bigger picture? Maybe it is. And so next time we will explore August 16th, 1977.